Hello everybody, welcome to Dr. Vishrutha's Life Science classes. In today's class, let's discuss morphology of flowering plants. Okay, some important questions pertaining to the NEET syllabus. Right. So this chapter, Morphology of Flowering Plants, it is chapter 5 in class 11 or first PU. It is from the NCERT biology syllabus. Okay, here in the word morphology, there are two terms, morpho and logy. It can be divided into two terms, morpho and logy. So as you all are well aware of, the word logy refers to study, biology and morphology like that. The word logy refers to study and the word morpho refers to external. Okay. So morphology is a branch of biology that deals with the form and structure of animals as well as plants. Okay. So here, you need to concentrate on the other word in the title, that is flowering plants. Okay, it means that it is going to throw light on the matter that there are plants that do not flower. Okay, let's understand a bit of that before we proceed into the questions. Right, we have classified, the biologists have classified the whole plants, the plant kingdom has been classified. The plant kingdom has been classified into five classes. The one that is thallophyte, which include algae. Okay, so they do not have a well differentiated plant body. Then the one that have a well differentiated plant body. Okay, under that, which do not produce, which do not possess the vascular tissue. So they do not have xylem and phloem. So under that we do have bryophytes, and the one that possesses xylem and phloem. Okay, so under this again, we do have the one which do not produce seeds. They do not produce seeds for the purpose of propagation. Okay, reproduction. No. Reproduction by the formation of the seeds. So we call them as cryptogams. They are popularly called as vascular cryptogams. Okay, they are called as vascular cryptogams. They are pteridophytes. Okay, then we do have the one that produce seeds. They are called as phanerogams. Okay, this phanerogams is further divided into non-flowering and flowering, non-flowering and flowering, and these bear the seeds which are naked, means they are not protected. The seeds are not protected by the fruits. Okay, whereas these bear the seeds that are well protected within a fruit. Okay, right. So, in the whole plant kingdom, for the first time, you are coming across the word flowering. Okay, so in today's in today's session, we are going to discuss the flowering plants. That is, we are going to discuss the angiosperms. Okay, so morphology of angiosperms or morphology of flowering plants. These include again dicots and monocots. Dicots refers to having two cotyledons and monocots refers to having possessing the single cotyledon. Okay, let's move on. Angiosperms are characterized by the presence of option A, roots and stem, option B, leaf and flowers, option C, fruit, option D, all of this. Right? So on the right hand side, you are seeing a neat label diagram of a typical flowering plant. See, a typical flowering plant has got a root system, it has got a shoot system. The root system consists of primary root, this is the primary root. It has got lateral roots, secondary roots we call them. Then further it possesses the root heads, root tip, and there is a thimble-like structure which we call it as root cap. Okay. And coming with the shoot system, we do, you are seeing here, it has got the stem, it has got branches, it has got leaf, then flowers, then there is bird, terminal bird. So you can see here there is a bird, then the shoot tip, then you are seeing the fruit. Within the fruit there are seeds. So, and it is, the shoot system is differentiated into node and the internode. Okay, so the right option for this question number 1 is all of this. Okay, Angiosperms are characterized by the presence of all of this. It has got the root, it has got the stem, it has got leaf, it has got fruits, it has got flowers. Okay, it has got flowers. Okay, the answer is D. Functions of root are. Okay, what are the functions of a root? Okay. Well, we have classified root into taproot system, fibrous root system, as well as adventitious root system. Okay. The elongation of the radical, direct elongation of the radical gives rise to a primary root, which further gives rise to the lateral root. This kind of root is called as taproot system. So here, the primary root is short-lived, which is later replaced by the fibrous root, and the roots, the tuft of roots, which we call them as fibrous roots. And the roots that are formed by any part of the plant except the radical, they are called as adventitious root. Okay, so what is the function of a root, or what are the functions of a root? See, the function of a root is absorption of water. It helps in absorption of water as well as minerals. Root helps in the absorption of water as well as minerals from the soil. Okay. Then anchoring of plant in a soil. It helps in the firm anchoring, means it gives the support to the whole plant system. Okay. Then storage of food material and synthesis of plant growth regulator. Okay. Well, some roots are modified in order to store the food. Okay. Like you do come across the carrot that we'll be discussing in the coming slides. So some roots are modified for the purpose of storing of the food. They store the food here. So this option is also correct. For the purpose of storing of the food, this is correct, and this is correct. It helps in the absorption of water as well as minerals. And here, plant growth regulators. Okay, so we do have a separate chapter which deals with the plant growth regulators, wherein we come across auxin, gibberellin, so then ethylene. Then we do have abscisic acid, ABA. Then we have one more, one cytokines. One more is cytokines. Okay. So not that all are synthesized in the root. There are some hormones that are synthesized in the roots. Okay. Therefore, the functions of the root are all of this. So the right option for this is this. So the answer is B. Let's move for the next slide. The root region is arranged proximal to distal part in the following manner. Option A, you are seeing it on the slide. Option B, option C, and option D. Okay. Before understanding this question, let's understand the different zones of a root. See, this is the tip of a root. You are observing the different zones. A root has got a region of maturation, wherein you find the root hairs. These root hairs are formed from the epidermal cells. Okay, when you look at the anatomy of this, the outermost cells, they are epidermal cells. They give rise to the root hairs. Okay. Then there is region of elongation. Then there is a region of meristematic activity. Then there is root cap. Okay, there is two way of reading this. One is this way and the other one is this way. Okay, now the question is, which is the proximal end and which is the distal end? You need to break up the question in, you need to understand the two things here. First thing is, you need to crack which is the proximal end and distal end. This you need to remember, and then you need to, once you know this, you need to arrange them properly and answer the question. These kind of question are time consuming question. Though you know the parts, though you understand the proximal and distal, you need time to arrange these parts. Okay, that is how, though they look simple, they are time consuming and they are quite confusing. So don't be in a hurry. Please take time and answer leisurely. Okay, let's understand the proximal end and the distal end. See, so what we call proximal is, here it is seed. So initially we will be having a seed. So here it gives, plumule gives rise to the shoot system, and radical gives rise to the root system. So this part, it is called as the proximal end, and this, the one away from where it was born, is called as the distal end. Again here, the one nearest, it is with respect to the stem, the part that is near to the to the seed initial germination, it is proximal, and this end is the distal. The farthest from the seed germination point is called the distal. Again, with respect to the leaf also, this part is proximal and this part is the distal. Okay, so here now you understand, in this given question, this is the proximal end and this is the distal end. Okay. Well, the question is they're asking us to read it from the proximal to distal. So from this end to this end, we need to answer this particular question. So it is zone of maturation, zone of elongation, and then zone of cell division. Okay. So this option is correct one. So maturation, cell elongation and cell division. Okay. Before we further proceed, I would just give a brief of this point. See, in the region of meristematic activity, the word meristem refers to divide constantly. Here, there are cells, meristematic cells. Their job is to divide repeatedly. Okay, and they are very. They do have a thin outer wall. Their cell membrane is very thin. They do not have the thickened wall. Therefore, in order to protect them, there is a thimble-like structure which covers this meristematic region, and this is called as root cap. Okay, sometimes they may also include this point root cap in the question. So adding more and more option makes the question little bit of complex or time consuming. Okay, well, thimble-like structure means something covering like small bucket-like structure that protects the root tip, growing tip, because the root has to pierce in the soil. Okay, so and the cells of this meristematic region are very smooth. Therefore, in order to protect them, it has a root cap. Okay, then coming to this, whatever the cells are being added to this region, they get elongated. The cells get elongated. Okay, and then they get matured. What exactly maturation refers to? Here, the cells, they get converted into different tissues. Okay, xylem, phloem, so vascular tissue. Some get converted into the outer layer, some cortical region, some pith region, like this. Okay, they get matured in order to perform the different functions that we will discuss during the chapter anatomy. Okay, so here the answer for this is option C. That is, we do have zone of maturation followed by zone of elongation and then zone of cell division. So these are all synonymous word. Cell division, you can also see here meristematic activity, cell elongation. So here region of elongation and then region of cell maturation. Okay, let's move to the next question. In majority of dicot, the direct elongation of the radical leads to the formation of option A primary root, B secondary root, C tertiary root, none of this. Okay, let's understand the germination of a bean. So bean is an example for a dicot. Okay, so this is the cotyledon. It has got two cotyledon. Dicot means they will be having two cotyledons. Okay, so here uh, there will be two parts. One is the radical and the other one will be the plumule. Okay, the direct elongation of the radical gives rise to the primary root. Okay, the direct elongation of the radical gives rise to the primary root. This further gives rise to the lateral root, which we call them as secondary roots. Okay, and the plumule gives rise to the shoot system. So the answer for this question is, it is primary root. Okay, that is answer A. The primary root and its branches constitute. So moving to the next question, that is question number 5. The primary root and its branches constitute. See, when it is a primary root, it has got, when it is a fibrous root, there is no primary root. So the primary root will be short-lived and it will be replaced by the tough roots that are formed by the lowermost region of the stem. So this forms the fibrous root. Okay, coming to the taproot, a taproot will have a mother root or a main primary root which further gives rise to the lateral roots. These are called as secondary roots, and further this gives rise to the tertiary root, so on and so forth. Okay, so the primary root, the this one is the primary root and its branches refers to this. The primary root and its branches gives rise to taproot system. So answer B. So adventitious roots are found in, first thing I have already explained you what are adventitious roots. Roots that are formed from any part of the plant except radicle. Okay, it could be from a leaf, it could be from the stem, that is the nodal region of a stem. So from any part apart from radicle, they are called as adventitious roots. Okay, so the example is, we do have the adventitious roots in case of grass. So here you can see here, this is the extension and this is again at one region. So initially there will be a primary root and that will be short-lived. Again the upper part, the lowermost region of a stem, the branches that gives, that when it reaches the soil, it gives the, at the nodal region, the lower side, on the lower side of the nodal region, it gives rise to the tuft of roots, fibrous roots. Uh, tuft of roots, and on the other side you will see the shoot system. Okay, so this is the stem, the branch, we call it as runner. Okay, so uh, case of grass you are seeing here, so these are the adventitious roots, and in the monstera, so you can see here, so this is the stem and here you are seeing the roots. Okay, then the adventitious roots are also found in banyan tree. Okay, so this is banyan tree, you can see here, these are called as prop roots, these are meant for the support. Okay, so where and all you find in grass, you find in monstera, you also find them in the banyan tree. So the answer is all of this. Let's move on to the next question. Adventitious roots arise from part other than. So I have already explained you this many times. So let's understand different parts. And that is, a seed has got, see, this is a seed, internal parts of a seed. A seed has got radicle which gives rise to the root system, then plumule which gives rise to the shoot system, then epicotyle is the region that is present above the cotyledon. See, if I write this in this way, two cotyledons. Okay, so this is plumule. So this region above the cotyledon, it is called as epicotyle. Epi means above, it is called as epicotyle, and hypo means below the region of the cotyledon. So this is called as hypo and this is called as epicotyle. So this is radicle, this is plumule, epicotyle, hypocotyle. Okay. So adventitious roots arise from part other than, it could be from this could arise from hypocotyle, it could from epicotyle, from plumule. Okay, but not from the radicle. So the answer is radicle. Okay, so you are seeing here, roots which arise from parts of the plant other than radicle are called adventitious roots. So here you are seeing the still roots. This is the lowermost nodal region of a stem which has given rise to the still roots. This is for the purpose of support. So here it is corn, maize. Okay, so these are adventitious roots, and this is an orchid plant. So you can see here the hanging roots of the orchid plant, which are the adventitious roots. So option D. Find out the correct statement. Sweet potato has root modification for storage of food. Still root arises from lower nodes of the stem. Rhizophora possess pneumatophores. Pneumatophores are meant for anaerobic respiration. Okay, so let's understand a little bit about the root modification. See, roots, the main function, as I have already briefed you, for the purpose of anchoring, that is support, absorption of water and minerals. Apart from this, roots get modified for various other reasons. So we call them as root modification. So under this, we study the modification under the heading taproot modification and under advantageous root modification. So under a taproot modification, it is for the purpose of storage and for the purpose of breathing. So what is this breathing roots? See, in case of the plants that are present in the swampy area, so swampy area or marshy regions. Okay, when you go at the sea, the backwaters, near the backwaters, you see some plants wherein, if this is a plant, so there are some roots that are arising from this. So these are called as respiratory roots. So these are called as respiratory roots. They do have small openings on them, which we call them as pneumatophores. They are meant for the purpose of respiration because the main roots, they are covered under soil and they are deprived of oxygen. So they are deprived of oxygen. Roots do require oxygen for the purpose of respiration, but here they are deprived of oxygen. Therefore, in order to get oxygen, they do have specialized roots which we call them as pneumatophores. Okay, so breathing root. Okay, then again advantageous root for the purpose of storage, mechanical support, and for other vital functions. So epiphytic root in case of orchids, foliar root in case of um, some plants that we discuss in the coming slides. We do come across the sucking root in Cuscuta and photosynthetic root are also present. Okay, now let's crack the question. So sweet potato has root modification for storage of food. Yes, correct. So sweet potato has got tuberous roots. So sweet potato, there is one more question that could be framed from the same option. Sweet potato is an example for the modification of advantageous root. Okay, or we see the advantageous root modification in sweet potato. So it is a for the purpose of storage. So this is correct. Sweet potato has root modification. So sweet potato, this is root modification and it is for the storage of food. It is correct. Again, this is a time consuming question. Then stilt roots. Stilt root arises from lower nodes of the stem. So here you need to understand, here it is the option stilt root. We have seen in the previous slide stilt root that we see in case of the uh, pandanus and in case of maize. In case of maize also you find the stilt roots. Okay, stilt roots arise from the lower nodes of the stem. So this is correct. Rhizophora possess pneumatophores. So rhizophora is an example for breathing root. Rhizophora is an example for breathing root. The respiratory roots, rhizophores, they are called as rhizophores. Okay. So these rhizophora which has pneumatophores, these pneumatophores are meant for anaerobic respiration. See, I have said you the very reason of the presence of this roots is for the purpose of getting oxygen. So when it is for the purpose of oxygen, then it is aerobic respiration. Okay, but here the option they have given as anaerobic. Okay, so it is not for anaerobic. Anaerobic means without oxygen. So the breakdown of the complex materials into simple ones in the absence of oxygen refers to anaerobic, but here it is aerobic respiration. So this is the wrong statement and it is the option for this present question. Okay, let's proceed for the next one. Maize and sugarcane contain storage root, stilt root, pneumatophores, prop roots. Okay. So again, some more details regarding the modification of the root. Some are modified for the purpose of storage, some for mechanical support, and some for vital function. This is the other way of looking at the slide. So maize. So maize contains the stilt roots, and the same stilt root is present in the sugarcane. So the example for this is one is maize and the other one is sugarcane. Okay. So they do have the still root. Okay, it is not for the purpose of storage. It is for the purpose of support. So the answer is option B, still roots. Find out the wrong statement among the following. Fibrous roots are found in monocots. So this is correct. Adventitious roots are found in all dicots. Taproot system is found in dicots. Prop roots of banyan tree are adventitious roots. Okay, so if you consider a banyan tree, you will find these roots. These are called as prop roots. So these are called as prop roots. This is for the purpose of support. So fibrous roots. So in the monocots, so you will see the tuft of leaves. These are called as fibrous roots. And in case of dicots, you will see a taproot system. Okay. So what they are saying is adventitious roots are found in all dicots. No, it is not found in all dicots. In some dicots we find, but it is not mandatory to be present in all dicots. Okay, this is the wrong statement. So answer B. Which of the following is incorrect of stem? Okay, so the first, it is developed from the plumule of embryo. Correct, stem is developed from the plumule of embryo of a germinating seed. It bears nodes and internodes. It is correct. So you can see here it has got nodes and it has got internodes. What is a node? So node is a region from where it gives rise to axillary bud, leaf or branches, and the region between two nodes is called as internode. So this is the node and this is the internode. So stem bears the nodes and internodes. It bears only terminal bud but not axillary bud. No, this is wrong because you can see here the shoot you find a terminal bud, but here you can see here there was an axillary bud initially which is giving rise to a further like branch, okay, which bears flowers and fruits. Okay, it is not that it bears only terminal, it is not that it bears only terminal, it has got both terminal as well as axillary bud. Okay, its main function is spreading of branches and bear leaves, flowers and fruits. Correct, you can see here it has got leaf, it will spread the branches, it has got flower, so on and so forth. So the incorrect statement is C. So the answer is an underground specialized root, an underground specialized shoot with reduced disc-like stem covered by fleshy leaves is, okay. So this is with respect to the stem. So let's go to the stem modification. See, the stem is also modified for various purposes. So one is aerial modification. So whatever the modification that you see in the aerial part, then subaerial, that is just above the soil, then underground modification. Okay. Under underground modification, we have bulb, for which we have example of onion as well as garlic. Some more, we have comb. For this we have example of yam or then rhizome. We can take example of ginger. Then we have tuber. Example is potato. Okay. So an underground specialized shoot with reduced disc-like stem covered by fleshy leaves is, okay. Let's see in the case of bulb. So I said you onion is an example. So when you chop an onion, you see that this is a shape of the onion when you take a vertical section. Okay, these are fleshy leaves. Okay. So this part, this is the so-called stem. So this is reduced. It is not enlarged, but this is reduced. Okay, it is reduced. It is disc-like structure. You can see here. It is disc-like structure, like stem covered by fleshy leaves. So these are fleshy leaves. Okay, these are the one that we eat as a vegetable. These constitute the leaves, fleshy leaves. So this is seen in bulb, that is onion. Okay, these characters are seen in the bulb. Then rhizome, that is ginger is an example. Rhizophora is a root modification. Okay, so answer is A. Which is odd type of vegetable in a basket containing the following. Okay, we have turnip, potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes. See, all look similar. These are all modification for the purpose of storage of food. So please listen. These are of course modification for the purpose of storage of food. Agree, but you need to understand. So this is a root. This is again root modification. This is taproot modification. This is also taproot modification, and these are sweet potato. This is advantageous root modification. So what about this? This is nothing but the stem modification. Potatoes are stem modification. So when you look at a potato, you will find ice in this. These are buds. Okay. So in this region, it is called as, these are nodes, and these are called as internodes. Okay, so the odd type of vegetable in a basket means it is the potatoes because it is a stem modification, right? Let's move on to the next question. Considering Consider the following statements. Statement A: ginger, turmeric, colocasia stem is modified to store food. Okay. Statement B: in the above, the modified stem also act as organ of perennation. Well, see, of course, ginger is for the purpose of storage of food. Turmeric also, colocasia also. Okay, it is of course for the storage of food. The it is and the statement B states that in the above modified stem, they also acts as organ of perennation. Okay. Now perennation is a new word which you need to understand. What is perennation? See, when there is unfavorable condition, when there is unfavorable condition for the purpose of growth and reproduction, for the purpose of growth and reproduction, plants, the plants, they go for dormant condition. They go for dormant condition. Okay, means they try to skip the generation, skip over unfavorable condition. Okay, tide over a generation, so that when there is a favorable or conducive climatic conditions like water, then minerals, nutrition, when it is available, sunlight, everything is available, when the condition is conducive for its growth and reproduction, that part helps in the generation. Okay, so this skip over the unfavorable condition is referred as perennation. Okay, so you see, when you observe the ginger that you have at home, that you use for cooking, so you see that your mother keeps ginger at home. Sometimes she also keeps the same ginger that she brings from the market in soil. She puts the same ginger in a pot that has soil. You see that it germinates. Okay, so in when it is kept without any conducive environment, it does not grow. But when you give all the proper required conditions, it starts germinating. Okay. Then coming to the turmeric, turmeric also same, but the turmeric that you have at home, it's already made, means it is boiled and processed, therefore it will not germinate. But in a natural condition, when turmeric, you give a proper conducive climatic conditions, it will grow again. The same holds good with respect to colocasia. Okay. So option A states both statements are wrong. Both statements are correct. So this is wrong. So this one is a correct one. Statement A is correct. Statement B is wrong. No. This statement is also correct. This statement is also correct. Okay. So statement A is wrong and statement B is correct. No. So the right option is option B. Okay. Functions of stem are. conduct water, mineral and photosynthesis, correct? So some perform food storage, support and protection, correct? Some perform function of vegetative propagation. Yes, correct. You are saying in the same question. This helps in vegetative propagation also. Like in case of grass also, it helps in vegetative propagation and all of this. So the right answer is all of this. Leaves arise from which part of plant, right? So before this, we'll see the parts of leaf. So here you are seeing a typical leaf. So this is the stem and you are seeing a leaf. A leaf has got, it arises the axil. So there are three main parts in a leaf. So one is petiole, then leaf base, and then the leaf blade. This should come here in the order. Okay, leaf has leaf base, petiole, and the leaf blade. Okay, so this the main vein that runs in the in between. It is called as midrib. Then this is margin of leaf. This is the margin of leaf. Then midrib gives rise to veins, and then further it gives rise to veinlets. Okay, veins, veinlets, or venules further divided into venules. Okay, so all these together form the leaf blade. Okay, then this is the tip of the leaf. This is leaf tip and this is leaf base. Right. So leaves arise from which part of the plant? So it arises from the node. So leaf arises from the nodal region. So nodal region gives rise to the typical leaf consists of. So you can see here I have already mentioned. It has a petiole, it has leaf base, then lamina. So leaf blade can also be called as lamina. Okay, so it has got all of this. Answer B, all of this. Let's move to the next question. Okay. Again, this is a bit time consuming question. Select the correct matching column A, column 2 and column 3. Some options has been given here. Okay, so alternate, word and opposite. So what are this? So this refers to the phyllotaxy. So let's understand this one. So phyllotaxy is the study of arrangement of leaves on the stem. Okay, we see that when you look around, so you see the different plants. When you observe closely, different plants has different kinds of arrangement of the leaf. Okay, in some at one nodal region, only one leaf could be forming, or it gives rise to only one leaf. So such arrangement is called as alternate. In some, you see that on the stem at the nodal region, you see there are two leaves coming. So here only one at a nodal region. Here two leaves are coming from a nodal region. So such is called as opposite. So this is also an opposite wherein two leaves are coming from a nodal region. But the arrangement is, it is this arrangement we call it as decussate, wherein they are perpendicular to each other. The leaf at one node is perpendicular to the leaf at the other node. So you can see here, this is the orientation is this and it is like this. It is called as decussate. Wherein in case of this, they are superposed. They are present one on the another. Okay, this is superposed arrangement. Then ternate we call, that is at one nodal region, we find more than two leaves. Okay, it could be three, it could be five, so on and so forth, or it could be four. Okay, so in case of Alstonia silk plant, so we find six. So here you can see there are four leaves. Okay, so this is called as world. Actually, this also we call totally as world. Okay, so the option is alternate leaf, world and opposite. So in case of alternate, I said it is only one. Okay, here single leaf. In case of world, it is more than two. In case of opposite, it is pair of leaf and so means two, right? So for A, so let's write it here. For A, it is X, correct? For B, it is Y, correct. For C, the Z is correct. So, but this doesn't complete here. Now they have asked you examples here. So of course you find this kind of arrangement is China rose, mustard and sunflower. These are examples for alternate arrangement. So option 1 is correct for this. And world arrangement you see in case of Alstonia we call it as silk plant. So 2 is correct. And then opposite, so in case of Calotropis as well as guava, you can see here it is Calotropis as well as guava. So 3 is correct. So AX1 BY2 EZ3. This has that one. So sorry, the answer is here option A. So this is the right answer. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the next question. The arrangement of arteries and arterioles in the lamina of leaf is termed as. Okay, right. So in the previous slide you have observed the leaf blade. Okay, the arrangement of veins and veinlets. So this is called the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the lamina is called as venation. Okay, so leaf venation can be classified into parallel vein venation and netted venation. Usually we see this in case of monocots and this we see in case of dicots. Okay, netted or it is also called as reticulate venation. Okay, parallel venation and reticulate venation. So in case of parallel venation, these are parallel to one another. Okay, so there could be a prominent midrib or there could no prominent midrib. So whereas netted, so you will see that there are veins running out and again they form a net-like structure. Okay, so this is innately netted. So this is dentate and this is palmately netted. Palmately means again from here these are arising. So we do have different one. So the arrangement of arteries and arterioles, you can also use the question could be also like veins and veinlets. Okay, the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. Okay. Right. Let's go for the question number 20. Which of the following is correct about venation? Parallel venation is generally found in monocot. Okay, correct. Parallel venation is generally found in dicot. So it is found in monocot, correct. Parallel venation is generally found in dicot, wrong. Reticulate venation is generally found in monocot, wrong. Reticulate venation is generally found in dicot, correct. So A and D are correct. So this one, so option A is the right one for this. Okay. Pinnately compound leaf found in, well, moving further, we do come across different types of leaves. The leaves are classified into simple leaf and a compound leaf. Okay, when single undivided leaf, okay, when the margin is entire, when there is no division, we call it as a simple leaf. When the margin is divided such that it reaches the midrib, then leaf divided into multiple leaflets attached at the stem. So it is further classified into pinnately compound and palmately compound. Pinnately means ear pinna, okay, pinna like ears. So you can see here there are two. So there is a prominent midrib and on either side you are finding the pair of leaflets. You are not going to call them as leaf but you call them as leaflets. So this is called as pinnately compound. And then palmately compound. Palmately means like palm. Okay. So from a point you see that they are diverging. So palmately compound leaves. Okay. So types of leaves, simple leaf, compound leaf. So here only one single leaf, the leaf margin is entire. Okay, so here the leaf margin is divided and such that it reaches the midrib. This is called as a compound leaf. Okay, so pinnately compound leaf is found in neem. So you can see here in neem you find this kind of neem leaf. Okay, innately compound leaf. So option D. Permanently compound leaf is found in, so this is the permanently compound leaf. You find it in silk cotton. So Alstonia. Option C. Right. Let's move to the next question. In which plant the leaves are small and short-lived? The petiole in this plant expand, become green, and synthesize food. Such petiole is known as phyllodes. Okay. So before answering this, let's understand the some important points. So as you all know, the primary function of leaf is photosynthesis as well as transpiration. So what is transpiration? So transpiration is a process in which the water is lost in the form of vapor. Correct? Lost in the form of vapor. Right? Transpiration is a process in which plant loses its water in the form of vapor. Okay, so it is the one important function of a leaf. And the photosynthesis, it is a process in which plants prepare their own food in the presence of water, sunlight, and nutrients. So this is the main function. So in many plants, leaves are modified to perform some additional functions such as climbing, support, or to trap insects or for photosynthesis. Okay, so what happens? So the leaves are, as we see the root modification, stem modification, even in case of the leaf we do find the modification. That modification could be a tendril. So tendril is a spring like coil like structure. A leaf could form a tendril. It can give rise to the spines. So you see the spines in some plant. We'll see this in the next slide. So phyllodes. So other one is the phyllodes. I'll explain this one. Then Nepenthes, Dionia, and sometimes for the purpose of storage. So Nepenthes is a insectivorous plant. Okay, and Dionia is also a insectivorous plant. Okay, what is a phyllodes? So phyllodes is, see, you can see here the example for phyllodes is Australian acacia. So what happens in this? So this is the petiole. This is the petiole. So leaf has got petiole and the leaf lamina. In case of Australian acacia, what happens? The petiole itself is modified into leaf. It is the plant, you can see here, the plant leaves are small and short-lived. So here there will be actually the leaves. They are very small and they are short-lived, though they wither away. They fall off. The petiole in this plant, the petiole is any part of a leaf that is modified for the purpose of photosynthesis. Okay. So here this is the petiole. These expand. So instead of this it is expanded. So it becomes green. You can see here the petiole. It is flattened. It is expanded and it becomes green and it takes up the function of the photosynthesis. It synthesizes the food. Such petiole is known as phyllodes. So where do you see this? In which plant? It is seen in Australian acacia. So it is, it's a very important point. So which of the following pair represent insectivorous plants? Okay. So leaves also modify uh, as an insectivorous part. Okay, why does this happen? See, in some places where the plants are growing, when they are not getting proper nutrition from the soil, in order to get nutrition the leaf part gets modified. Okay, how do they get? They catch the insects. So you can see here, this is Dionia. We call it as Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap. Then Drosera. Then Nepenthes. It is also called as pitcher. Pitcher means mug-like structure. Then Patricularia. Okay, so these are examples of the insectivorous plant. So pitcher plant is an insectivorous plant, but Australian acacia not. So Venus flytrap is the example, but Calotropis is not. So pitcher plant, then Venus flytrap is correct. This either one is wrong. So the option is this one, pitcher plant, as well as this Venus plant. So option C. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Select the incorrect matching. Okay, right. So we have already seen leaf gets modified into tendril, spine, like that. So you can see here leaf modifications as tendril. So here entire leaf except stipules as tendril. So actually this green part, whatever you're seeing, it is actually a stipule. Okay, and the actual leaf is this one, but here the leaf is modified as a tendril. Okay, this is a tendril. This you see in case of lathyrus. Okay, then in case of pisum, or we also call it as pisum sativum, so lathyrus or pea plant. So here what happens, the leaflets are modified. So this, there are leaves, so but a few other leaves, the leaflets, they get modified into the tendrils. So leaf apex as tendril, you can see here this is leaf, and the apex, the tip, is modified into the tendril. Okay, and petiole as tendril. So the petiole is getting modified into tendril, and there is a leaf as such. And here stipules, in case of smilax, the stipules, they get modified into tendrils. Okay, so here leaf into incorrect match, leaf into tendril P. So leaf is modified into spine. So you can see here. So this is euphorbia, and even in case of cactus plant. So here let me draw a diagram of cactus. So here this is the stem, and these spine-like structures, they are the actual leaf. Okay. So leaf into spine in case of cacti, correct. Fleshy leaf in case of onion and garlic, it is correct. And you find what kind of phyllotaxy in case of calotropis? It is opposite phyllotaxy. It is not word, but it is opposite phyllotaxy. Leave it correct. Okay. So option D. So the incorrect matching is option D. Let's go for 26th question. Well, this is a diagram based question. Again, this is time consuming question. So these types of question consume lots of time. Okay. What indicates A to E in the given figure? So here we have already discussed, this is region of maturation. This is elongation. This is meristematic activity, and this is root cap, and these are root hairs. So let's see region of elongation. Okay, here it is region of elongation. Okay, so see, you can go for these two. So region of elongation you have got here in the both option. It is region of elongation. Let's look for D. So it is D root cap. It is correct. Okay. So then if you cross check others, E is region of meristematic activity. It is correct. A is root hair, correct. And B is region of maturation, correct. Okay. The right option is this one, B. So option B. So identify A to E in this figure. Okay. So A is stipule, E is leaf blade or lamina. So where is E lamina? It is here. So others are auxiliary, but no, no way, no way. Okay. Then cross check with this one. A is stipule, B is lamina. So let's cross check others. B is auxiliary bud. So this is the auxiliary bud. So this is the auxiliary bud is something that is formed in the axil of a leaf. Okay, this is the stem. This is stem. This is leaf. So the bud that arises at the axil, the junction, okay, it is called as the axillary bud. B is axillary bud, correct. And C is leaf base, correct. D, this is the petiole, correct. So option B. Okay. So let's move to the question number 28. Identify A to F in this figure. So this is a need a diagram of plant. Okay, so A stem, B stem. Okay, this is stem, this is leaf, then okay, A is stem, A is actually fruit. It is B. Okay. B is stem, A is fruit, C leaf, correct? So D, where is D? D is what? I think it is missing. E is primary root. Of course, this is primary root. And F is secondary root. So this must be D. I think this has gone behind the question. So D is better. So the answer is option B. This is the right option. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So before proceeding to the next, let's understand a little bit about the inflorescence. See, flowers may be produced singly or in clusters. Say for example, hibiscus is a single flower. Okay, when a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is always single and is called as a solitary flower. Example, hibiscus. Okay, so when a shoot tip it is transformed into flower, then it is a solitary. Solitary means single flower. Then it is a flower. Okay. When flowers are found in groups, so in some you see that there are there are group of flowers forming on a common axis. Okay. Such floral arrangement is called as inflorescence. Okay, when flowers are found in groups or clusters on a common axis, so this is the common axis, they form inflorescence. So this is called as inflorescence. Thus the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, so this is the floral axis, the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is called as inflorescence. The common axis is called as, this is called as peduncle. This is called as peduncle. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is termed as, so it is not phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy refers to the arrangement of leaves. Estivation we'll discuss in the coming sessions. So placentation also we'll discuss in the coming sessions. So it is inflorescence. Okay. So hibiscus, it is a solitary flower. So inflorescence, you can take example of gladiosa. So option C. Let's go for the 30th question. So, we have two types of inflorescence, that is cymose inflorescence and the racemose inflorescence. Okay, let's understand this one. Okay, in cymose, the type of inflorescence is, okay. So first understand we do have two types. So racemose inflorescence, okay, the peduncle shows indefinite growth and the main axis continues to grow. So here you can see this is the peduncle, the axis, the main axis where the flowers are arranged. Here you can see the arrow mark. Here it continues to grow. Okay, the peduncle shows indefinite growth, means it keeps on growing, and on it gives rise to the flowers on either side. Here flowers arise in acropetal succession on the axis. Acropetal means bigger flowers at the base and smaller flowers at tip. So such kind of arrangement is called as acropetal succession. Okay, the lower flowers are older than the upper ones. So these are older and these are newer flowers. Okay, we do have one more cymose. Let's understand it later on. Main axis terminates into flower. Okay, correct. Flower borne in basipetal order. Main axis not terminates into flower. So this is with respect to racemose. Flower borne in acropetal. This is also racemose. Okay. So cymose inflorescence, that is A and B only. In cymose, the type of inflorescence. In cymose, the type of inflorescence is Main axis terminates into flower. Flower borne in basipetal order. I think this has been typed wrong. This is typo error. Actually, it is A and B. It is not B. It must be A. Okay. Let's go for the racemose. So we have previously discussed the racemose type of inflorescence. So main axis terminates into flower. It is in case of cymose. Flower borne in basipetal order. It is in case of cymose. Okay. So here you're seeing the example of cymose. The main axis. So this is the main axis. You can see here it is terminating, means ending with a flower. Okay. Flower, it is having a limited growth. The flowers are borne in basipetal. Basipetal means you can see here the lowermost flowers are these are younger flowers, and here you will see, so here you can see these are younger and this one is the older. Okay, this is cymose. So the flowers are borne in, the answer for this is the racemose type. The answer is the main axis not terminates into flower, then flower borne in acropetal succession. So that is C and D. I think I have made it. It has to be B. Okay. Right. Well, thank you for your patience, Leslie. All the best to you. Thank you.